Hi, I'm Joe, and today I am doing the professional tag. It was originally created by Red at Little Red Reader. I will link to her below. In this tag, you are giving a list of professions, and you have to choose a book that goes along with that profession. I was tagged by Jen at TodayInJensLibrary, and let's just jump right in. I had a hard time choosing some books for this. I don't like to show the same books on my channel repeatedly, even if multiple tags ask me what's your favorite book. I try to choose a different book each time, but a lot of these are repeats, and a couple of them I don't even have a physical copy of the book, so you'll have to bear with me. The first profession is a doctor, a book that consoles you and helps you, and I chose Pride and Prejudice. Look at this edition too. I just got this and it is gorgeous. So I just adore this book. This is my all-time #1 favorite book that will never change, and it definitely consoles me if I am feeling down. It's like a nice blanket. I love this book. The second profession, a chef, a book that has a lot of ingredients, a bit of everything. And for this, I chose The Portable Dorothy Parker. This is a collection of her short stories, and it just has everything in it. I love it. She is funny, and they're just so great. And it's also beautiful. Barista, a book that gets you pumped. Fahrenheit 451. I know I only read it the beginning of this month, but my goodness, I could still go on and on about this book. I loved it so much. It just gets me all pumped up about censorship, about books, about government, about all the parallels in our current world today. Oh my goodness, gets me pumped. Student, assigned book you actually liked. Well, if you watched my video about the books we were assigned, I believe it was called the Books 101 or something like that. It was a tag about the books that we were assigned to read in high school, and I wasn't really assigned very many books, so I didn't have many to choose from. But I chose To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. The next is Lawyer, a book that everyone else loves but you don't like or thought was okay and need to defend your answer. The Catcher in the Rye. Did not like this book. I know that it is supposed to be one of the best books ever, but I just could not relate to the character. Perhaps if I was an angsty teen and had read him when I was an angsty teen, I would have related, but I read this as a 20-something and I just wanted to tell him to get over himself. Actor, a book with a well-rounded protagonist. I chose The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian because Junior, for all of the things that he is going through in this book, he is extremely grounded and well-rounded and rational, and I just was impressed. I know he's a fictional character, but I was impressed with the poise that this character had through all of the things that he went through in this book. So I thought that was great, especially he's a teenager, and teenagers are not exactly rational or grounded or well-rounded or any of those things that I just described him as. Probably why he's a fictional character. The next, Retail, a book that you just had to have, and I chose Tempestuous. I just picked this up at Ollie's. It is a YA book, but it is a twist or retelling of Shakespeare's The Tempest, and I love retellings, and I thought I needed it. But look, it's also beautiful. This is a twisted lit novel. I guess that they have more. I don't know. I've never seen these before. I just came across this one at Ollie's, which has a mishmash of everything. Editor, a book you found yourself criticizing more than enjoying. And I have two, but I have neither of these books with me because I did not like them. Blink by Malcolm Gladwell is a book about why we make snap decisions, making a decision in the blink of an eye, how we quickly do it. Well, except he doesn't explain how or why. He just gives a ton of examples of people that have made decisions like that and how those decisions turned out to be correct even after professionals have looked at the object. Like in one case it was a, what is that word for something that isn't, what is that word? Counterfeit. In one case there was this counterfeit statue or something, I don't know. All of these scientists and professionals looked at this item and they all said that it was real. It had the correct markings, it was the correct age, yada yada. Well, then there were also a couple professionals that walked in, and when they saw it, they immediately knew that it wasn't real. They didn't know why, but it was just like a gut feeling that they had. And there are several examples of this throughout the book, but he never tells us why this happens. So why did I just read this book? I don't know. It's like pop psychology 101, a waste of time. I have not picked up another one of his books because no thanks. And then the other one was Longborn by Joe Baker. It is a story based on the servants in Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, a behind the scenes look at the servants, and she constructed this story about the two servants and Mr. Bennet and all of this stuff that supposedly may have happened behind the scenes, and I just did not like it. I thought she took too many liberties with Jane Austen's characters, namely Mr. Bennet, because my Mr. Bennet would never do what Mr. Bennet in that book did. So I don't like it at all, and I am very glad that I borrowed it from the library and did not buy it, because I generally buy anything Jane Austen. The next is Carpenter, a well-structured, well-written book. And for that, I know I just showed this, but I chose And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. I thought it was an excellent book. It kept me guessing until the end. So it was fabulously written and an easy read. It wasn't like difficult. I didn't, like, my brain didn't hurt. I don't know. I skipped one. Let me go back a couple to number 8, Artist Favorite Book Cover. I chose this one, Stories from Dickens, because it's beautiful. And I really enjoyed that cover. Even though I have a lot of Dickens, I just wanted this. I picked it up at a rummage sale, so I didn't pay much for it. And it's just so cute. Okay, now let's go back to Carpenter. Okay. Number 11, Veterinarian, a book that includes an animal somewhat significantly. And for this, I wanted to choose The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein. Yep, Garth Stein. However, I could not find this book on my shelf, so I don't know if I'm just overlooking it or if I've moved it somewhere. But he has a dog in it. Anyway, I chose Black Beauty to show because it is gorgeous. This is a Penguin Puffin book. It is adorable. I got this at Ollie's, and I just really like these covers of these Puffin editions. So it's about a horse. The next profession is Scientist, a book that includes advanced technology, and for this I chose Kurt Vonnegut's Cat's Cradle. This is my favorite Kurt Vonnegut book that I have read so far, and in this book the main characters, one of the main characters' father is a scientist, and there's a little bit of science in this book. Not a whole lot, but it's there, and I needed to fulfill this profession, so. Oh, something fell out of it. You Make Me Dizzy from the Lizzie Bennet Diaries. Aw, I guess I used that as a bookmark. Oh, there is a bookmark in my book. an adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. By the way, if you have not watched this, it is a series on YouTube and you really need to watch it. Also, watch Emma. The last profession is teacher, a book that takes place in a boarding school. I do not read many books that are YA, and those are usually the type of books that take place in a boarding school because adults usually don't hang around in boarding schools. That's a little bit creepy. But I chose A Prayer for Owen Meany. I do not have a physical copy of it. I really enjoyed this book. It's by John Irving. And one of the boys lived in a boarding school and the other one went to a boarding school but lived at home. It was just an amazing story, an epic coming of age. I loved it. It is long and it seems a little slow, like you're reading this and you're like, why am I reading about this? This is very mundane. But in the end, it all comes together and you realize, oh, that's what he was setting this up for. Oh, that's why that was happening. And I just greatly enjoyed this book, and I actually am sad that I do not have a physical copy of it. Okay, so those were all of my books for the book profession tag. And I will tag some people. I'll put them up on the screen. And I think that that's all that there is. If you did this tag, I would love to watch your video. Comment, link down below, let me know so I can watch your video. If you've read any of these books and would like to talk about them, I would love to hear your opinion. I will talk to you later. Bye.